All right, so good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be playing with the hips again a little bit. If you were here Wednesday, we did a ton of psoas work on Wednesday. And we're going to play a little bit with that today, but in a little different way. So definitely have your blocks, and do me a favor, grab your strap if you have it, and you're just going to put it in a small-ish loop. I don't even know how to describe how big that is, but just put it in a small loop that we'll use a bit today. And if it's too big, too small, don't worry about it. We'll figure that out when we get to it. And then set that aside. And I'm sitting up on a blanket today. So if you want to sit up on a blanket or up on a block, that would be great. If you're sitting in a chair, be sure that your feet are grounded, that your spine is nice and tall, all of that stuff that you already know. And then sit well, everyone. Just find some grounding through the sit bones. And then place both hands at the creases of your hips, whichever way you're sitting. And then push down on the creases to feel your whole spine lift up. Right, so we kind of notice that, and if we lift too far, you'll start to feel the low back arch a little bit, and then try to keep that, tone the belly in, and then let go of the hands, and feel like you just grew a whole inch or something. So keep that, and then picture your pelvic floor muscles, and just draw those up a little bit, as if you were going to sit just a little bit higher up. And then see if you can maintain that without it restricting your breath. And if you can't, then don't worry about it, because we're going to come back to that later. And then draw the shoulders back to the side body. Crown of the head reaches up. The chin doesn't lift, nor does it drop. And then close the eyes if you're comfortable. And feel the breath draw in and exhale out. Good, taking it in. And exhaling. So as you breathe in, relax the pelvic floor muscles, Mula Bandha. And as you exhale, just feel them draw in a little bit, lifting up. Good, inhaling, relaxing. Exhaling, drawing in and up. Good, and keep that up. Inhaling in. Exhaling it out. Imagine that inhale going all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. And as you exhale, that bottom air of the lungs coming all the way up and out. Feeling more and more grounded, more and more centered. Good, 2 more breaths, just like this, relaxing Mula Bandha as you inhale. And as you exhale, drawing it in and up. Good, last one. And then let the eyes open. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlace and just press out. And when you press out, curl in, big little cat pose here, seated cat pose, tucking everything in. And as you inhale, bring the hands to the belly and squeeze everything back. Maybe you look up just a little bit. Exhale, press out. Inhale, press in. Exhale it out. Good. 2 more right here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Last one, inhale. Exhale, press. And then take the arms straight up. Remember, separate those hands if it hurts your shoulders. And then when those hands are up, see if you can get the thumbs higher, like the pinky side comes closer toward the head. So you're really stretching through those wrists. Release both hands, take the left hand down, take the right arm over, big stretch everybody, and up. Exhale the other way. Good, take it up. Exhale, left side. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, right side. Good, next one, we're gonna hold, take the hands up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Release both shoulders down. Try to engage that back body. Feel all that stretch. And then take the right hand up to the ceiling. Internally rotate that arm and reach it behind you and see if you can find the opposite side hip. So all we're doing is drawing the right shoulder, the right front shoulder back and forward. So we're drawing it back, stretching the chest and then releasing. Good, just a couple more right here. And stretch it. Whew, yeah, good. And then release that hand, take it back up, squeeze up, hold the beach ball, just hold, engage that back body. Exhale, other side. Starting out in an easy stretch, both shoulders are down, the back body slightly engaged here. Find your breath and then take the arm up, internal rotation, reach it behind you. Any amount that you can, and then draw the left shoulder back and just release it. So you're opening up, stretching and releasing. Good, just a couple more. Reach back. And last one. Good, releasing that, take the arm back up, bring it up over your ear, press everything up, take the arms out to the sides, internal rotation both. So right, that thumb, if your arms are palms face up, the thumbs go up to the front and back behind, and just reach for opposite elbows. Once you have those opposite elbows or close, draw the arms down the back to lift the chest. Good, and then look over one shoulder and center, look over the other, being mindful of your particular neck. And center, good, last one, take it over. And center, only if it is appropriate, drop the chin toward the chest. So with the arms behind you, gently pulling down, right? We're gonna just stretch through that whole back neck, back body. Big deep breath. And take the head up, release both hands, inhale up, exhale to your heart, and let go. And then take both legs nice and straight. And imagine, so again, if you're in a chair, you can take the heels to the floor with the legs straight. Just everybody watch the backs of the knees. So imagine that you have a strap around your shins and you're pulling out. So it's kind of hard to imagine, but as you isometrically pull out, notice maybe what happens with the hips and the glutes. They start to kind of engage, right? Because you're working against this gravity, and then release it. Good, one more time here. Just press out isometrically and release it, and then grab your strap. So you want that strap to loop around both shins. Watch your buckles here if you have buckles. I hope you can see this. I didn't think about dark pants and a dark strap when I got dressed this morning. So just have that strap around your lower kind of mid shins and do the same thing. I want you to press against the strap. Feel how much the legs have to work here and then release it. Good. Just do two more. Push against, feel what's starting to engage. I actually lift up from the blanket a little bit and then release. Good, one more here, squeeze. If you're not getting good purchase, your strap is too wide. And so you want to soften that up a little bit and release. Good, take the hands maybe back behind you, someplace where you feel a little steady, and lift one leg. Again, if you happen to be sitting in a chair, you can do this as well. The legs are straight. You lean back just a little bit, dig one heel down, one leg up. Woo, yeah, feel the leg. I'm telling you, right? And release that down. Let's pick the other one up. Woo. Find your breath, everybody, working with quads, psoas, right? Hips, take it down, push the legs away from each other. And just breathe, like, right? Just breathe. So we can handle this. You're the one pressing against. If it's too much, you just soften that press a little bit, but working with those hips. Good. One more. Let's lift one leg and just pull one leg down as one leg comes up. Tone in through the belly. Find your breath. And lower. Let's lift the other leg. It's only going to go so far depending on your strap. And lower. Good. Bend the knees, keep the strap. You can dig the heels in and do the same thing. The upper body is totally chilled right now. You're pressing against the strap. You should feel these hips working, hip muscles working. Now breathe. And I know several of you who have been traveling. And so all of that sitting stress can really affect how our bodies are feeling. We're going to get good and stretched out. Whew. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Everybody feeling that? And release it. Good. Shimmy out of that strap for now, but keep it nearby and straighten both legs. So take both hands to your sacrum, right? So I'll turn around just so you can see what I am doing. So you're just taking those hands below the hips and to the sacrum, which is a nice little triangle shaped bone, the lower part of your spine. Take the hands there, and legs are straight, and then draw those hands down, tone the low belly in, draw Mula Bandha up, and just feel those hips even meaning they're coming straight across. One's not forward or the other. You're pretty much straight across. And then just bend one knee and see if those hips will stay pretty centered, right? And then lower that down. Bend the other knee. See if the hips are staying pretty even in your hands. You can feel that happening. And then bend. Good. Go back to the first leg, bend, and then take it out to the side. Did the hips stay even or did they start to shift? See if you can even them out a little bit. Release the hands, take them up. Breathe. Exhale those hands down to the floor. So Janu Sirsasana, pretty simple, but I want to play with relatively even hips or even sacrum, even pelvis is really more accurate. You can take one block out underneath your knee. But so when we just did what we did, my foot is pretty darn low. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to take either that loop or my whole strap, put it around the, for me, if I'm mirroring your left leg, and then I'm going to just pull straight back. And notice, right, as I just little bit draw this left leg back, the right leg stays active. I'm pushing my foot into my leg, and I'm just going to come really tall. Now, some of you are going to stay right here. Some of you are going to be able to take that leg and draw it in toward the upper inner thigh a little bit more. Check the hips. How do they feel? Did you start to go a little wonky? Did the pelvis start to shift? And if it did, see if you can just straighten it. We're not even moving forward because that's where we can get into trouble if we have low back issues. So I want you to stay tall, big flex of that foot. I'm giving a pretty good pull to that strap. I mean, it might even try to lift my heel off the floor. Yeah, just breathe, everybody. Now, if you want, one hand goes back to the sacrum. The torso comes forward. I'm still pressing down on the sacrum a little bit. As soon as I start to feel either a stretch of that hamstring or that the hips want to shift or round, I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to take my hands back to the strap. Yep. Good, breathe, everybody, right? Depends on how tight you are this morning, what's going on with you. Good, maybe one more time, I'm gonna take that hand to my sacrum. I'm gonna see if I can come a little bit more forward without rounding into my spine. Then I'm gonna release the hand, I'm gonna come back and let go. Whew. Good, take this knee up, straighten it out. Go ahead and put your foot back into back into the strap and pull out to the sides. Great. I'm looking over at John going, do you feel this as much as I do? Good, release. You're gonna have that strap around your other foot. You can just relax it for now because we're not gonna use it. Feel yourself get really tall. Bend the other leg. So again, if I'm mirroring it, you would bend your left leg and let it go out to the side. Let's take hands to hips. How does it feel on this side? What's going on this side, right? Do you want to block under the knee on this side because it's not quite the same? So stay right here. Don't adjust the foot. Grab your strap. Maybe give it a nice pull. Maybe one hand to the sacrum to go, yeah, that feels pretty even to me. Belly's nice and toned. And I'm just going to lean back and feel what's happening in my body on this side. It's interesting. This knee is definitely higher on this side. So that's giving me some good feedback, right? Of where the hips are and how they might be a little bit unbalanced this morning. Breathe, everybody. Good. And one, you're here. Two, you're going to walk that foot up a little bit higher because your hips allow that. Going to recheck. Yep, sacrum still feels pretty even to me. So I'm going to pause here, pull back, open up chest, open up shoulders. And then one hand to the sacrum. I'm going to take it forward just a little bit. You don't have to go far, right, to feel those hamstrings, especially if you've got a good flex of the foot. Feels pretty even to me. I'm going to release. I'm going to hang out for a moment, see what's happening. Big deep breath. Maybe one more. Hand to sacrum. What's happening? I have to pull this left hip back just a little bit to come forward, just a little. Then I'm going to release again that hand and hold this nice little stretch. Big deep breath. And release it. Release the strap. Come on up. Both legs straight. Set your strap aside. Dandasana pose, engage, and then slightly press out isometrically, arms up if you want. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders, press down through your left heel, lift your right. Breathe. Lower that down, lift the other side, push down to lift up. And lower, bend both knees, press against those legs isometrically, and release everybody. All right, good job. Nice little warm up. Let's get the blocks to the front of our mats. Your blanket you don't need unless you want to use it to cushion your knees. And I might even do that this morning because we're going to be on the knees a little bit. So if you want to use a blanket for the knees, go ahead and do that. Find a table pose, spread the fingers, tone the belly, and move into a few cats and cows. As you move, I want you to draw your attention to this same area of the pelvis, right? So we're looking at the sacrum. I guess that would be more spine than pelvis, but you know what I mean. So as we draw the sacrum down, we move into cat pose. As we draw and lift up through the sacrum, we move into cow. So feel that. Again, if you're in a chair, you can do this seated. Breathe. Good, just a couple of more. Just starting to move through this really important area of the body. That's it. And then come to neutral. Press the right foot back. So I love balancing table with the chair. Again, I know one of my students is hanging out with the chair today. So if you're using a chair, you put your hands on your chair, facing that chair sideways. And let's just bring the right leg out and breathe. Being careful if you're using the chair, otherwise just being careful in general. Take the left arm out. Finding balancing table, using your breath. That's it. You know you can always use, keep both hands down. Now take that left hand, take it out to the side, internal rotation, and let it rest palm face up on the sacrum. Draw the sacrum down, use the lower belly, feel how even those hips are. That's what we're looking for. Release that arm, take it out, bring it forward, hand down, knee down, and maybe just stretch back a little bit. Deep breath, everybody. And then come on back up. Same thing, other side. It's a little bit interesting, right? So we're gonna set the left leg back. If we tone in through the belly, we're gonna see if we can find an even hip. We lift that leg up and pause. And then only if you're ready, take the right arm out. Breathe. That right arm goes out to the side, internally rotates. The palm ends face up on the sacrum. Checking out those hips, seeing if they feel even. Big deep breath. And release that hand. Take it down to the floor, release the knee, shake it out. Good, come back to table pose. We're gonna do that one more time. This time we're gonna use a block on the sacrum, which gets a little tricky, especially if you got a lightweight block, right? So don't worry about it if it falls. Plant the hands, take the right leg back, lift the leg. So right away, I can feel that shift in the hips. I'm gonna lengthen through the belly, lengthen through the tailbone. See if I can find level-ish. Take the left arm out. Breathe. Lower the hand, lower the knee. Good, it's like walking on a tightrope for some reason. Take the left leg out, tone the belly and lift the leg. How's that block feel? Right, does it feel relatively level? Right arm out. It's such little weight, but it does give us some feedback. Lower the hand, keep the leg. So if my hip was too high or my leg was too high, you would feel the weight of that block leaning into the right hip, right? Or if the leg was too low, you would feel that as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. The knees are back down. Place your blocks right at the front of your mat and step forward with your right leg. Just going to scoop my blanket back a little bit. So right leg steps forward, and we're going to play with this again. And I sent a video to one of my students, and I may send it out to everybody because there's a teacher who explains this so well. And I really appreciated how she explained everything. So take your blocks up at the highest level. If you were just to come into a lunge, so everybody come into your normal lunge, tone the lower belly in just a little bit and get a sense of what your hips are doing. For most of us, the leg that's back, that hip is dropping. Do you feel that in yourself, right? So walk the blocks back a little bit. Come out of the pose some. Mula Bandha, low belly. Feel how that just straightened up this whole space. If you're not sure, take your right hand to your knee and kind of check it out. Where are my hips in space? One hand to sacrum, draw the sacrum down, belly Mula Bandha, and then see if that hand can stay steady as you come back into your lunge. See how that feels for you. Your hands go back to your blocks. This left hip is not dropping toward the floor. The SI joints are stable, and we're still getting a stretch here, right? In the psoas and in the upper quad. So just notice that. Now, tone in through the belly. Flip your toes under. Lift the knee. See if you can keep that hip level. For some of us, it is like the matter of a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of bringing that awareness, bringing the depth of awareness into our bodies to go, oh yeah, that hip's definitely dropping, or it's definitely lifting. Where is it for you? Hold here. Lower the knee down. Ooh. Just sink both hips back. Bring the right leg back, bring the left leg forward. This was a real awareness for me. I'm very open through hips and psoas and all that. So I could almost bring the thigh to the floor if I really wanted to, right? Not necessarily where we want to go. What are we doing to the pelvis when we shift that way? So here we are again. Maybe you come right into your full extension of a low lunge. And then I'm going to bring the hand back where you definitely feel just a little curve. It's almost like my right thigh is rolling in, right? So I'm going to back off. Lower belly tones in. Move the bandha tones in, right? Those sit bones actually come a little bit closer. And then I'm going to go, okay, where am I at on this side? Maybe one hand goes to the sacrum. It's usually the opposite hand for stability. And I'm going to just see when I bring the hips forward, they're coming forward together. It's not one hip leading the way. If you're still with me and using a chair, you could place one leg over the chair, more sitting sideways, to kind of get a sense of the lunge, or just hold on to the chair as you play with the lunging here. Tone the belly. Hands stay on your blocks. Flip your toes under. Get a real sense of this, like what's happening right back here. Lift the knee. Find the high lunge. Did the hips stay level? A lot of times I'll tell students, and I'm going to just shift to show you, this back thigh presses up toward the ceiling. If you can do that, often that will level out the hips. So we're here. I'm going to lower the knee back down. I'm going to see if I can stay even. And then I'm going to shift both hips back to bring those legs back. So just lower the blocks a little bit. Take your hands behind it. Lift your knees. Take your knees off the floor. Kind of like table pose. Belly tones in. Pelvis lengthens, right? I'm going to think about that shift back as I keep the hips steady. I'm going to draw the chest down. I'm going to start to straighten the legs. Simple downward facing dog. The hips feel even. You can be in a nice lengthening down dog. Soft back of the knees, low belly tones up. Pubic bone up toward belly button. Find your breath, everyone. Inhale, tippy toes. Lower down to your knees. Put your hands on your blocks. Step forward, right leg. You have all this awareness now. Bring the hips forward evenly. Squeeze this left glute, which is going to keep this left hip from doing a deep dive. Notice, right? How does it feel? It's a really interesting exploration for me to try to stay in the center of this left thigh, meaning I'm not rolling to the outside and stretching the hip that way. Good. Flip toes under. Here we are again. Lift the left knee off the floor. You know that's optional. Hold the belly in. This time, transition hands to knees. Start to lift the torso. Where's the hips? One hand can go back. Check it out. Does the left hip, which always the back leg, is going to shift down to compensate. So breathe. If you can, take both hands to both back pockets. Press down, lift the chest. Looking forward, take the arms up. Where are the hips? What's going on with the legs? Just feel this, everybody. I'm getting a big old stretch here, and it's a different stretch, a different awareness. All right, you're going back down slow. Hands come to knee. Lean the torso forward. See if you can keep the hips level. Hands come to the blocks. Lower the knee. Curl both hips back. Bring the right knee back. You can take a moment here to stretch. And then come on up. Same thing other side. Left foot forward. So we are slowing this down, right? Big time. To really feel what we're doing, right? We're getting into the minutia here to go, wow, I have been doing that for how long, right? All right, so nice tone to the belly. You're in your lunge. You're feeling what's going on with your hips and sacrum. When you're ready, a little bit of Mula Bandha, pelvic, pubic bone to belly button. Flip your toes under, feel it. Lift the knee. Where is it? Squeeze in through that right glute. Feel the hips level out. When you're ready, you shift into your knee. Torso stays low. Push through the back heel. Keep that nice tone to the belly. Lift up through your torso. Woo. Squeeze, lift. Where is it? If you can, hands go to your back pockets. Draw that sacrum down. Feel how that lifts the chest. When in, if you're ready, the arms go up. Are you leaning out in the back leg? Like, did your heel just drop one way or the other? Find your breath. Notice, notice. And then reverse. The hands come to the knee. That's all you got to do. Take the torso forward. Keep the hips level. Hands go to your blocks. Lower the knee to the floor. Feel that. Draw the hips back. The knee comes back. Either puppy stretch or child's pose. That's it. Big deep breath. All right, so we got one more here before we start to try to pull it all together. Take the right foot forward again. This time, bring the blocks up nice and high. Walk the right foot forward, and then again, really focused right here. Draw both hips back to begin to straighten that right leg, that right knee. And breathe. And we're again, just kind of assess, where am I? If you want to lift your toes of your right foot up, dig the heel in, level out the hips, torso gets super long here. Can I stay in this lower variation of pyramid pose without shifting the hips one way or the other? Big deep breath. Good. Bend your front knee. Hips are level. Flip toes under, lift your left knee. Straighten the front leg. Imagine somebody's pulling both hips back at the same time. I'm really having to keep shifting this left hip. I've always thought these hips were pretty even. I'm really feeling a shift here that left hip has to rise up to level out, to come into pyramid pose. If I were to take a block to that sacrum, right, it's going to hang out there, no problem. Breathe, breathe, everybody. Pyramid pose, big old stretch for, again, a variation of pyramid pose, big stretch for the hamstrings. Good, slow, slow, bend your front knee. Stay in the level hips. When you're ready, slowly bend the knee. Press both hips back. Bring the right leg back. Bring the left foot forward. We're almost done here. Hang in there. I hope you're getting this sense of how these hips shift so much, right? They shift so easily and you want them to. You don't want things to be stagnant. But in these poses, especially when we have SI joint issues, we want to try to see if we can keep them relatively stable here. So here we are in our lunge, right? We've got this one figured out. I can feel the hips drawing in a little bit of mula bandha, a little bit of low belly tuck. Feel that. Straighten the front leg as if someone were pulling both hips back at the same time. Play with where you're at. Flex the front foot if you want. Bring the toes up. If you do that, dig the heel in. Find your breath. And then bend your front leg slow. Flip your toes under. Lift the knee. We were here already. Where is that sacrum? You can keep bringing the hand back, checking it out. On this one, my left hip had to roll back a little bit to find that level. Good. Straighten the front leg. Move from those hips. Move from each side coming back pretty evenly. If your front leg doesn't straighten all that much, that's okay. Breathe, press into the big toe mound, keep leveling. Once again, if you want to play, just take one block to your sacrum. Is it gonna stay? Does it feel pretty even, right? And then lower that block. Bend your front knee, stay in the hips. Lower that knee to the floor. Press both hips back, bring the knee back. Set your blocks down and either child's pose or puppy stretch. That's it. One more good deep breath here. And then come on up. You may or may not want to move your blanket off your mat. Just going to set mine away. And then come back to table pose. Blocks are where you can get to them. Spread the fingers. Here we are. We're right back where we started, right? So flip your toes under. Lift the knees off the floor. Find your breath. Start to press both hips back. Where are you? Did the hips feel even? Is one lifting, one lowering, one dropping? Start to straighten both legs at the same time. Simple downward facing dog. How do the hips feel? Can you draw from pubic bone up to belly button? Hold on to the beach ball, by the way. You all know what that means by now. Finding that sweet down dog. Use your breath. Now, optional. Lift your right leg. Keep the pelvis level. Woo, breathe. How does that feel to you, right? Again, this is a pose where we tend to overlift the right hip and skew those hips. So look through your hands, step forward, right leg. You're in a nice high lunge. Turn your back foot to the side position. Think about the hips. Take your right hand to your right knee. Come on up. Warrior two, everyone. Now, how do you level this out in warrior, right? Got one leg here, one's externally rotated, one's internally rotated, right? So we feel it here, pubic bone to belly button. We draw it up. We lengthen through the tailbone. We don't overpress this back hip forward, like popping it out. We draw it in so that even though we are angled here, they feel level. Take both hands to your sacrum and just feel that back pockets and breathe. Straighten the front leg. Keep your Left hand, so again, I'm not mirroring here, and this is what happens. Keep your left hand or your back hand in your back pocket and start to slide the front hand down. Keep drawing down, drawing down, drawing down. Pause. What's happening with the pelvis? Does it feel good to you? Can you keep lengthening the sacrum down toward that back heel? Triangle pose. Take the top arm up. Don't have to go far, do you? Right? Don't have to go far to feel that. Tone in through the belly, lengthen through the torso. Press up, warrior two. Breathe. Take those hands back down. When you turn your back foot, level out your pelvis. Step back, downward facing dog. Do it again. Find your pose. Pedal out the feet. I feel good. Woo-hoo. All right, same thing. Hold the beach ball, which means you're engaging latissimus dorsi, those back muscles. Lift the left leg on purpose. Don't overlift. Find your breath. Can you hold this for a moment or two? Good. When you're ready, step through. Breathe. Find that high lunge. Hips are level. Drop your back foot to the side position. Left hand goes to the left knee. Come on up, warrior two. Breathe. Nice zip up of that low belly, pubic bone to belly button. Back leg is engaged, so I'm not over pressing through the back hip. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Take both hands to back pockets and press down. Find that. When you're ready, straighten the front leg. Keep one hand in the back pocket, slide the other one down. Find the pose that feels good, where the tailbone still lengthens down, the sacrum still draws long. Take the arm up if it makes sense. Breathe. That's it. Take the hand back to the back pocket, bend your front knee, both arms out, warrior two. Cartwheel back. Straighten the back leg, find that level pelvis. Step back to down dog. And breathe. In down dog, I want you to soften the knees and then try to pull the feet away from each other. Breathe. That's it. Take both feet wide on your mat. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend both knees and come on up to standing. Woo, shake it out. Feeling that? You can turn that heat down if you want me. Okay, down to set. The heat's off. It got warm in here really quickly. Grab your strap and place the loop around one foot. And then step on the strap with your other foot. So I have my, again, if I'm trying to mirror here, my right ball mound is stepping on the strap and my left one is looped around. And then I'm gonna pull that left one out as far as I can. Like it just won't go any further. And I'm keeping this strap from slipping. Feel that. Yep. So you should be able to really create a whole bunch of work in the hips, in the glutes, by pressing out isometrically with those legs. Find your breath. Woo! Anybody not feeling this? I'm like super feeling this in the glutes right now. Big deep breath. And then release the foot that's stepping on the strap. Come up to center and see if you can keep it out to the side. Your hands can do whatever they need to do to find balance. Toes point forward, working with the hips. Release if you cannot tap and step up. Where's the hips? You can take hands to hips. Do they feel? Woo. Do they feel even? Breathe. And lower down. Ooh, shake it out. You're going to switch sides. So just take that loop around your right foot. Spread that strap out. Step on it with your other foot. And create some traction. This one, I'm having a little more trouble keeping it from slipping. That's interesting. So make sure the ball mount is stepping on it because that's where you're going to need it. Woo, there it is. Feel your hips, everybody. Big deep breath. Just notice, right? So if we can, like I feel this, absolutely, but it's not to the point where I've got to let go. I can just kind of be in sensation here, be in this use of the muscles without worrying too much about it. Yeah, a couple more breaths right here. I tend to rush the second side, so we're not going to rush it. And then you know what to do. You're going to start to lean into the looped foot and see if you can find balance by pressing the other leg out. Woo. Breathe. Arms out sometimes helps. And then start to bring the leg down. If you can, just transition leg up. That's it. And then lower down. Take the loop out to set your strap aside. And then maybe you're facing forward on your yoga mat, maybe not. You're going to step the left leg back. You're going to zip up the zipper, right? The pubic bone to belly button. The hips are even, notice, right? That back leg is not rolling back. You're even. And you're going to lengthen through the front torso. 1, you're here. 2, you're going to see if you can lift off. Toes are pointing back. Try to keep some levelness with the hips. Maybe your hands go to your front hips to see how you may or may not be rolling left hip back. Bend the knee, optional. Grab the foot. Feel it. You can take that other hand back to the sacrum. Does it feel even? Right arm can go up. Breathe. A little bit of dancer here. And then release and set that leg down. Shake it out, everybody. Good. Same thing. Other side. Now, of course, you can be near a wall. You're standing nice and even. Hips are even, right? You can feel everything kind of straight-ish across. Step back with the right leg. I'm going to check it out again. Did I start to already tilt to that right side? Let's see if you can find that. This might be where you stay. This is awesome, right? Glute engaged, leg engaged, or you lift. Whatever you do with your hands, it's up to you. Does it still feel pretty even? Am I lifting so high with the right leg that the hips are getting all skewed off? Still good. Bend. Reach back. Maybe you find your foot. Maybe the left arm goes out. Big deep breath. Whew. And release it. So kind of dancer-ish, but not dancer, right? All right, back to the front of your mat, everybody. The hands go to the creases of the hips. Just take your thumbs right into the creases. As you come forward, I want you to pull the creases back really deep, like pull back as far as you can. Imagine if you had a strap here and you were pulling that strap back. That's it. Stay in the middle of your feet. Hands drop down to your blocks. Find your breath. Breathe, breathe. And then soften the knees, the hands go to the floor, step back with your right leg. One more time, we're just gonna drill this baby home, right? Level out the hips, tone the belly. Can you bypass the knee? Take the arms up. Find your breath. Drop your back foot to the side position, warrior two. Watch the front knee here. Tuck in through the low belly. Straighten the front leg. Come on down, triangle pose. Find your breath, everybody. Check it out. How's it feeling to you? Come on back up, warrior two. Transition to high lunge, tricky one there. Level out the hips. Hands come down to the floor. Step back, down dog. Come on, mat. The mat's all curled up. Breathe. Step forward, right leg. Find your hips. Lift that left one in particular. See if you can bypass the knee. Come on up. Use your breath, everybody. Oh, I forgot pyramid on that side. Oh, well. From here, drop the back foot, side position. Warrior two. Breathe. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. That's it. Press up, warrior two. Cartwheel, well, sort of cartwheel, high lunge. Hands down, hands down. Downward facing dog, everybody. Woo. Good, plank pose. One leg lifts, level those hips, everyone. Lower that one down, lift the other, level hips. Lower that down, knees down, child's pose, hallelujah. Find your breath. Whew. So we're going to use our strap and we're going to come down to our belly. So it's going to take a little bit of doing. Don't come to your belly until you wrap your strap around your ankles. Now we've done this before. We have not done it in a while. I want to stay with this whole idea of hip engagement, all that. So once again, you're taking that strap. You can move these up, it might help. You're taking your strap around kind of the lower end of the shins, right? You can move your little tail end out of the way, and then come onto your belly. Upper body stays down. Your tops of your feet are on the floor, your legs are pressing against the strap, and all I want you to do is push against that strap. If that hurts the tops of your feet, you can flip your toes under and get the ankles off the floor, but or you can just lift the lower legs a little bit. But feel what's going on with your glutes. Big deep breath. Lengthen the sacrum, lengthen the tailbone. Your pubic bone moves up toward your belly button. That is going to take any pressure, or at least most of the pressure off your low back if that's what you're feeling. And then release it. Good, you're still here. I want you to push down through the right leg with the left. Breathe. If your loop is too big here, you're going to really skew the hips to lift it. So if that's the case, just don't lift as high. And lower down. Lift the other leg. Breathe. Lower down, turn on to one side. Lift the top leg. I used to do these all the time and I quit doing them. And so I want to bring these back. Bringing them back, baby. Breathe. So feel that hip working. Good. Lay on your back. Keep that same leg lifted if you can. Woo-hoo-hoo. Lower that leg, lift the other leg. Breathe. Press down hard, everybody. So you're pressing down with one leg as you lift with the other leg. Find your breath. Lower that leg, turn onto your other hip. We're doing all sides. And lift. Belly is toned. Good, lower down. I want you to come back to your belly. Ooh, it just kind of rocks on this side. I know that's a lot. I know. Breathe. Now, press against the strap gently, not a whole bunch this time. Tops of the feet are on the floor. Press down through the pubic bone. And then curl that pubic bone up toward your belly button. So we're tucking in. Low belly tones in. Come up to Sphinx pose. And breathe. And notice how that feels when you've got the legs so active that the low back is like, oh yeah, this is cool. I can do this. And breathe. 1, you're here. 2, lower down. Hands come to shoulders, or fingers come to shoulders. The shoulders move back and away from the floor. We press in to lift into cobra. Now, I've said this a million times. If you straighten your arms and you drop into your lower back, you're too high. If I straighten my arms here, my low back is not going to like that. So I'm here, a little bit of pressure against the strap. Breathe and lower down. Take the hands outside your mat. Press up. Maybe the arms will straighten a little bit more, maybe not. Breathe, stretch your bellies, everybody. And lower down. Good, shimmy out of your strap. Bend the knees, windshield wiper the legs. We're almost done. Oh, actually, we still got time. Oh, good. Oh, goody, goody. And lower those legs. All right, so you're going to come onto your back, but you're going to want both of your blocks. As you roll over, then come onto your back. Grab one block and place it underneath your sacrum. This sacrum that we have been playing with all class, right? And just feel how that feels to be level. That's all you're doing. You're just feeling the levelness of this hip. And so maybe you shift the hips a little bit. Maybe you put your hands at those front hip bones to feel as one high, one low. I mean, we're all built differently, and then we've had a lifetime of our bodies figuring things out. So don't get crazy about it, but just see if they can level out a little bit. And then a few pelvic tucks and tilts here, just on the block. If you have something under your head, whether it's a blanket, a pillow, or your ponytail, that is causing your neck to tuck, please take that out. So bridge pose, right? We never want anything under our heads, or if there is, it's super, super low. Good, breathe. And then see if you can find a neutral space here with your pelvis. I'm going to keep my hands on my front hip bones here, and then push into your left foot and just lift your right foot. Simple, you're resting on the block. This is the easy part. And then set it down. Tone the lower belly, a little bit of Mula Bandha, lift the other leg and feel that. So you're feeling these hips and how they feel pretty even, right? You can march in place here a little bit, just go slow. I'm just really wanting you to tap in to what's going on with the hips. Both feet to the floor. If you have your second block, grab it. And this is just for feedback. You're just going to set it on your pelvis or your lower belly, right between those hip bones. So you get a sense of what it's doing. Plant your feet, lift your hips off the block. Your block on the belly should stay there pretty easily. You can lower it down if you want to. It's just feedback. Okay. And then you're here hanging out in bridge pose. Press into the big toe mounds. Try to lengthen through the inner line of those legs and hold bridge. You don't have to lift high. When you're ready, see if you can lift one leg and keep the hips pretty even. And then lower. Lift the other leg and lower. I'm going to move my lower block out of the way because I seem to be tapping into that a little bit. So move it out if you want, and then slowly march in place and get a sense of the block. Is it overly shifting, or are the hips staying pretty even? Okay. If you're not sure, rest the fingers on the block. Your elbows are on the floor. Keep going, keep breathing. Hip work, glute work, transverse abdominis work. Yep. And then pause, hold, and lower down either to your block if it's still there or to the floor. Got just a little bit more here. I like the feedback that the block is offering to go, oh yeah, I am dipping on one side or the other. It gives you an idea of where that glute strength is on one side or the other, including glute, hip. All right, so one more bridge pose. Breathe. You can have the block there on your belly if you want. Lift up off the block if you're on it. Shift into your right foot. Lift the left leg up to the ceiling. This block on the belly might just be in the way here, but see if you can find a level, right? Bend the knees, set that back down, level both hips, push into your left foot, lift the right. Did the hips stay even? Lower. Good, set one block under your sacrum again if you removed it, and come back to that center space where they're both even, they both feel comfortable. You can relax, let go a little bit. Deep breath. Good, tuck through the pelvis, lift both feet off the floor, take both legs up to the seat. Your hands can come down to your sides. Your sacrum is pressing gently into the block so that you don't over arch. You don't go into a deep back bend, because that's not what we're looking for here. Just breathe. The arms are down. The legs are hovering in space. That's it. You can also put legs up the wall if you happen to be near a wall. Deep breath, everybody. Bend your right knee, bring it into chest. Very carefully, slowly lower your left leg until the heel hits the floor. If that is too much for you, just don't do it. Breathe. Once it's there, relax the left leg. Bend the left knee, bring it to chest. Straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Slowly lower it down until the heel touches the floor. Nice deep breath, everybody. Good, bend the right knee. Both feet to the floor. Lift up and let those hips come back to the floor. We got one more thing here before Shavasana. Just move your blocks out of the way. Straighten both legs to the floor. And feel how when you straighten the legs, your back will arch, your ribs will draw up toward the ceiling. So I want you to not do anything more, but inhale right here. And on the exhale, pull the ribs down to the floors and tuck the pelvis. Inhale, just let go. Exhale, pull everything down. Ribs go down, belly goes down. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Hold that big old tuck. Bend both knees. Hold the tuck. Draw the knees toward your chest. Come into a side twist. Letting the knees roll to one side. The opposite arm, maybe cactus position, maybe straight out, coming into a twist. Deep breath. Just feel that nice twist, releasing anything else. You can take whichever direction your knees are, take the opposite thumb to the hip crease and just give it a little pull away. Good, release that side, come back to center, your feet come to the floor. Do that tuck again where the ribs come down, the belly goes down, the knees come back to chest. Roll to the other side, coming into a twist on the other side. And again, the opposite arm could be cactus, it can be straight. You can take the thumb and place it in the hip crease here. Big deep breath. Soften everything. And then bring knees back to center, feet to the floor, hips to the center, both knees to chest. Straighten one leg and the other leg. And let's find Shavasana with these nice level hips. You can always bend the knees. You can take blocks under your thighs. Let all that go soften through the belly. Try not to think of any one thing, just let all thoughts drift through. Feel your body sink down. Sink down even more. For those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Take a nice deep breath. Draw those knees to chest. Rock side to side, and as you're ready, roll the knees to one side or the other. And then very slowly press all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom. Say a prayer for all those who are suffering. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.